It's still trying. It's going knife now.
Okay,
Did
so
you
I told
ever
them. Yep, go ahead.
did you ever see that TikTok that I sent you guys about the dude who, and I don't want to mischaracterize what he was saying, but it was about Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop RPGs.
Okay.
Did you see that TikTok?
Can you? I watch a lot of TikTok, Jason, about
So
Dungeons and Dragons and everything. I need you to be very
very
specific.
specific. So I don't want to miscategorize this guy's argument, but I tried to go back and watch it again, and he had put it to friends only. So obviously he realized he messed up, or
Okay.
maybe he just got a whole bunch of death threats from racist people. But I guess his argument was that in D&D they're changing the name of the different people to from races to species,
Okay.
which is cool because now they're no longer races, they're just different people. But he was talking about like how it's like, I guess, wrong for like an orc to be like naturally stronger than like an elf, or like for like have for different peoples to have different sort of like physical or mental attributes that are attributed to those people, which if we were
I
doing
don't think
like,
I watched that TikTok. I apologize.
it's fine. If we were doing like, because like I get it, like in some aspects, like for example, Wizards of the Coast just came out with a new playable race called Holodozi, which were monkeys that were given sentience by a wizard so he could make them slaves. Which, you put all that together, makes them sort of problematic. But in my mind, it's like, because his argument was like, if you wanted to play a strong character, why not just play a human who's strong? Or if you want to play like, a fast character, why don't play a human who's fast? And I'm like, that's kind of missing the point of fantasy
Yeah,
games.
it's literally fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get like kind of like, especially if you go to like dwarves, right? Like there's like this whole pushback on dwarves, especially, because people take dwarves from fantasy and they associate them with people who have dwarfism in real world. I've never done it because I'm not a bigot. But of course, someone's gonna read Gimli and go see a little person and be like, "Hey, Gimli," or some dumb shit like that. Or, the whole thing with goblins in J.K. Rowling, goblins as a
Yeah.
whole aren't problematic unless you make them big nose, greedy.
Yeah, it's not the guy. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, am I crazy for thinking like this guy, this dude who is probably coming from a well-meaning place is completely off base? Like because I looked at I went back and looked at the D&D like stats for monsters and stuff, and like it's never like you get negative points for being a creature, right? It's not
Right.
like all dark elves are -4 intelligence because they're dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like you either get a bonus because of the culture or whatever. And I always think it's just, you can still be a gnome who's an idiot just because you get a +1 to your intelligence score.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, like you could still be a weak orc just because you get a +1 to your strength doesn't mean. And it's just like, oh, I always think I just never thought them as like, you know, firstly they're not humans, so it's not
Right.
like you can put the one-to-one sort of like connection, like, oh yeah, all black people are really sporty, so all black people get a +1 to sports, but they're
Right.
not. It's not the same thing. That's an orc, and that's
Yeah.
a freaking Arakoa or whatever, or a tiefling or whatever. And I just like this guy, and it's just, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
But
like,
I think so. I think with people like that, you can never tell if it's like willful ignorance, or if it's like they know exactly what they're doing to get the the views. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
he knows what he's doing. I have to find the video now so I
Oh
can.
no, you can't see it no more
Oh,
because
that's
I
right.
think
That's right.
that's
That's right. Okay.
he
So
he friends only. So, and this
yeah,
guy, like, he's not like presenting. Maybe he just
but
looks
like
like a,
if the video is still up and in the friends only, like I think it'd be different if he like deleted the video and
yeah.
then he was like, my bad. Like the fact that he's just kind of friends only, that makes me think that he probably knew exactly what he was doing, and then he probably just couldn't handle the backlash. But it's just like there's people like that all the time who just are completely problematic on purpose, and then claim that you know that they didn't
It's
mean
just
it.
it's weird to me, like, to think like, and I don't want, because if I understand where this guy is coming from, like, I get like his point of view that, you know, when we do like fantasy creatures and fantasy cultures and stuff like that, we pull in from the real world because, firstly,
Well, that's all we
imagination.
know.
Yeah, it's all we know. We can't just pull
Yeah,
something out of it. We are
yeah,
not
and you
vacuums.
yeah,
We
you
can't
write
just
what you
pull.
know, and
Yeah.
yeah, and all that stuff. Like that's why I'm always every time. So just so you guys know, every time we play D&D, my character is a human. but but that's because I pick a very specific type of human that I could never be, but is also badass.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like she's not realistic. Like just because she's human doesn't mean she's realistic at all. Like that
Yeah.
human wouldn't be able to sneak past an entire army and
And stab them in
lock.
one hit.
Yeah,
These rogues
yeah.
are totally overpowered, by the way.
I know. I'm no dummy. I know how to pick my characters.
Lisa has killed a lot of things just by herself.
Yes, and just with like one little arrow, like 3 feet away, dead.
It's just like,
So
as a fantasy writer myself, like, for those who don't know, I tried to be a fantasy writer one day, and like I always kind of keep cognizant of the fact that even though you are using your imagination, sometimes, especially if you pull things in, like, you might be actually making a commentary on real people without actually knowing that you are. Because I feel like Tolkien probably did this.
I'm trying to get on our thing.
Silence, Lisa.
Sorry. I'm trying to get on our live.
But it's just like it's weird to me to think like, oh no, I shouldn't play an orc because that's racist somehow. Like I shouldn't play a strong orc, or like I don't know. Maybe I'm mischaracterizing this guy's argument, but like this is the point where I'm listening to this dude. I'm like, this is when conservatives go, you're just being woke, you're being too woke, and I'm like,
yeah, are you doing too much? You're
doing too much.
Yeah.
No one asked you for this advocacy. Like there's no people who are freaking changelings out there going, oh, I want better representation of changelings in fantasy games.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. I think people, I don't like, it is a game that's been around since how old is that game? 70s, 60s. Okay, so since the 70s. And it hasn't changed that much, but it was always, just about fake species and who, if you have a good enough imagination to be a freaking orc, I would choose an orc too. They're strong as fuck. Like, yes, why not?
It's fantasy. But there is a thing where the son of the guy who created Dungeons and Dragons, Gary Gygax Jr., huge bigot, transphobe, he has been trying to create, because Wizard of the Coast now owns Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
So it's a big corporation that owns Dungeons and Dragons now, but this guy, Gary Gygax Jr., has created like a legacy company to the original company that owned it called TSR. And he's like, Dungeons and Dragons is too woke. I'm bringing it back old school. And like their first like major module, it's just completely racist, where like there's a black race and it has like a cap on its intelligence score. It's like,
yes,
like stuff like that
then.
is wrong.
Yes, right. But I don't understand how you could even say Dungeons and Dragons is woke. Like, they ever played with us before? Because there ain't nothing woke about that.
Luckily, we don't televise our games.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But yeah, good thing we don't televise those. You're right. But
like, oh no.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's always gonna be someone hollering about something, and I think that's always kind of like the hard, like what balancing that, like, hey, this matters, to like,
and then. Hey, calm down. That's not. Yeah,
relax.
That doesn't matter.
You're gonna ruin it for everyone.
Yeah. Sit down, buddy. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. So
It's like, am I the only one mad about the orcs? Like, yes,
yeah,
you are.
quite literally, no one thought about it until this moment. But I do think that like when they compare it to like the J.K. Rowling with the goblins, it kind of then it becomes this slippery slope because
Yeah.
what's the difference? But then you're talking about, you have actual slaves that
Yes.
in it that like
And
it becomes this, yeah,
it's never just like, I would say it's never just like one aspect. It's like if you have a
right,
combination of things that just say, like, oh yeah, you can call these guys house elves, but they affect a pigeon language and they're slaves. And like,
right,
you
yeah,
obviously can draw parallels. Oh, they're just
yes.
goblins, but they control the banks and
Right.
like,
And they had talk about constantly how there was literally a civil war,
yeah,
it like, 20 years ago, or how old
a
is,
hundred. It was
yeah,
a
maybe like
time some
20,
time
15
ago.
years ago. Yeah, like I mean, yeah, come on now. Like we get it, like it's the same thing with Tolkien, even though Tolkien swears that it had nothing, like it wasn't
Well,
based off the war. Okay, that's fine.
yeah,
You
it is,
whatever
and
helps you
like
sleep at
especially
night.
like a lot of the first depictions of orcs are
Yeah.
very like have very and it makes sense for the time, but it's racist now. Well, it was
Mhm.
racist back then too, so let's not get it twisted. But like a lot of the orcs were depicted having very heavily Asian or characterized Asian features, like because they were in a war with Japan or whatever. Or, it's just
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, it's racist. I don't think Tolkien was ever like and here comes those you know
No, he
racial
was a
slur
Christian.
for
He was a Christian. He would never.
yeah. Now, C.S. Lewis, on the other hand, those dwarves or the Jews, and I don't like them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so while I'm thinking about it, have you seen the TikToks going around where it shows like um James and Lily Potter and like Snape? It's like all the original Order of the Phoenix and like their actual ages.
No,
Because
I
like
know their actual ages because they're a lot younger than what they play on the movies.
yeah, so like Lily was like 20, I think, when she got killed by Voldemort. Like
She had to be older than that because, or maybe she wasn't. Yeah, she was
no,
like 20. She would have been
20.
because
They
Lupin
were
and
20 years old. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if James was older than Lily, but Lily was 20 years old. She had a newborn baby, or 1 year. Was Harry one when he?
one. So she had
So
him
she
when
had
she
a
was like,
1 year old.
yeah.
Yeah,
So they were
like
like 21 or 22 or like the time or something like that.
no, I think that they were 20. They were
Either way, they were children.
either, yes, they were children when Voldemort came after them. They're children. When you think about it, it's like holy crap. So Snape wasn't really as old as they portrayed him.
Snape,
Dumbledore's a
Lupin, and all of
cajillion
them
years old, so
were
that's
like in their
fine.
30s, like their early 30s, like barely in
They
their
what?
because Lupin,
Right.
Snape, they're all like 31.
Yes. They're younger than us right now. And
Yeah,
I'm wearing ears on my head. You know what I mean? Like
we're not fighting any wars against places from
yeah.
winter Nazis.
Yeah, like so when you think about, I just think that completely changes the whole perspective. For me, I feel like if I was watching someone who looks like they could be a teenager,
I mean,
getting murdered by someone, it's like, really,
it's just,
Voldy? Like, you didn't have anybody else to pick beef with. You got to come after these kids.
yeah, like it's kind of sad that he's like, that baby over there? That's my arch nemesis. I don't like
Like,
him.
I don't know. It blows my mind. And even just thinking about, that's why I'm so glad that
You
the
know,
kids like Ron, Hermione, and Harry were like actually around that age, so we got to see them, as
yeah.
little babies.
You know who else you're older than right now?
Oh, Google.
Ned Stark and Cersei Lannister. They were all 35. Well, Ned Stark was the
What?
oldest at 35. Yeah. They
No,
were
that mofo was 55 years old in
on the
that
show,
show.
yeah. But he's supposed to be 35.
No,
All his
no.
freaking
That's
Daenerys
craziness.
is 13. She is a year older than Sansa.
Who was Daenerys?
Daenerys. Yeah.
When she gets married to what's his name?
She's 13 years old. Yeah.
What is wrong with that writer? Like he no, and I don't even because I rewatched the first episode of Game of Thrones recently because TikTok's been forcing me to. So So I rewatched. So I
I feel like
rewatched the first
TikTok has a lot of
episode.
power over you two.
Listen, it
It
really
does.
does.
It has me.
But so Sansa, like she was so young.
Yeah.
Like Arya and Sansa, I forgot how young they were just
They
in real life. Like they were
Yeah.
babies when that show
Ari
came out.
was, I think what's her face? Maisie Williams was like 8 when she got the role, and like so that she could be 9 when they start shooting.
Yeah.
Like so like which is like her age is she's 9 in the books too. For
That's
all of
just
it.
so crazy. That's so crazy.
Rob
so
Stark
young.
died when he was 16.
Oh, he's the Stark I can never remember. Is that the Red Wedding Stark?
Yes, that's the Red
Yeah,
Wedding
yeah.
Stark.
I can
He
never
died
remember his
when he
name.
was 16 years
I'm always
old.
like the guy from Cinderella who we always have to stare at his package.
Robert Madden. No, not Robert.
I don't know.
I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, some white dude.
From
Also,
Britain.
the other thing that I almost texted you guys about, but it's been a crazy couple days. I was watching the Hunger Games, and you know who's so it's like I was watching the third one, not Mockingjay. What's the third one?
The third movie.
Oh yeah, Mockingjay. Mockingjay. You know who's in that? Brianna Tarth.
Oh, Gwendolyn Christie, she's in that one? I didn't get to the third one. After the second one, I was like, I'm done with this franchise.
I think so. I didn't get to finish the movie because but I think that she's the one who, you know how the end Katniss kills what's her name?
President
from so she kills
Snow,
President Snow,
but
she kills President Snow, and then she kills the lady because she realizes the lady is going to be just like
President Snow,
like President Snow. So I think that Brianna Tarth, I can never remember her name. I think she's the one who actually gets to become the whatever the chancellor or whatever the hell they call it later on. She becomes the new president,
the new dictator of this fictional land.
Yeah, of Pangea.
You know.
So, yeah. Anyway, sorry. Hello, Jason.
Oh, hey,
we're all over the place. Sorry.
Oh no, you guys go for it. I mean, I'm watching the 49er game, so you guys are more than welcome.
You can't be watching. You think I'm sitting here watching Spaceballs while I'm doing this?
Foosball.
It's a little different of a thing there.
You know, you gotta be paying attention to the now, Jason. You gotta be here.
Oh, I'm here. I mean, the show hasn't started yet, so technically I'm not on. I'm just here until we get some of this cannon fodder out the way, and then we start the show. And then
we did their cannon fodder. It's because it's synergy with the show. It's head cannon circus. We make the B-real cannon fodder. You get it, guys?
They get it. They get it.
Like we're there.
Oh god.
It's either between that or like getting some head, and I figured it wouldn't get approved by YouTube.
Nah, it would not. That would not fly.
That's a different part of the internet.
Yeah, that's for our OnlyFans site.
Correct. Oh man.
Or what's that new thing that people have, Pantheon or whatever?
Patreon?
Yep, there we go.
It's not Patreon. I like Pantheon better. Let's just name it Pantheon now.
I don't know.
Follow our Pantheon page.
Because I listened to the Girls Next Door podcast, and so they talk about how they have like exclusive behind the scenes stuff if you belong to their
Pantheon.
I'm like,
on their Patreon.
Who's the Girls Next Door? What do they talk about? What do they do? Are those the girls that don't wash their hands?
You don't know the Girls Next Door?
Do they? They don't wash their hands. Who don't
wash
wash
their
their hands?
White girls that was hating on Beyonce, they don't wash their hands.
No. So you know who Hugh Hefner?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in the early 2000s, he had 3 girlfriends: Bridget, Holly, and Kendra.
Kendall.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, we're aware of it.
Yeah. And so they got their own TV show called The Girls Next Door. And it's all about them being his girlfriend at the mansion, So they have a podcast now where they're like dishing everything about how horrible of a human Hugh Hefner was.
Obviously, he's a horrible human being because he
and I am living for it. I love the podcast.
I could tell you that guy's a scumbag before ever meeting him. I mean,
I know so there was a documentary that I watched first, and I was just like, James, can you believe I did this? Can you believe this? And he's like, yes, Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked by anything you're telling me.
At least Larry Flint was honest scumbag. He's like, I love porn. I just want to do porn. Here, I'm from the cigar. Hugh Hefner's like, no. Drink that drink first, and then we'll talk. It's like,
take a
you
little
are a scumbag.
Quaaludes, have some drugs. Let's, He
no
hung out with Bill Cosby.
Was always there. Yeah, he was. Bill Cosby was always there.
Like the one thing that I always thought was weird about Hugh Hefner is like he would go into a restaurant and bring his own like private chef and have him make lamb chops and mashed potatoes in their and just not eat at the restaurant. He would just have his private chef make him lamb chops and mashed potatoes and bring that out to him. Like, that's some weird shit right there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, I'm not going to Longhorns and be like, you know what? I don't want nothing that you got. I got my guy. He's here.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of celebrities do that. Just stay home. No one wants you out anyway. You're just ruining our good time. Pay for all of our meals or leave.
Now, if you brought in chef dinosaur with, like, all the girls, I probably would be like, it's a good trade-off.
Wow.
Like Papa Dough, you couldn't even talk to the celebrities, right? So
you could talk to them, but you just couldn't go ask for their autographs or nothing like that.
Lame.
You know? They're trying to eat meals with their families. I don't.
They should eat at home then.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
We know who you are. So don't do that to us.
Yeah.
I mean, because especially when Beyonce and Jay-Z came in there, it got wild. I remember getting pictures of it because I was like, God, I didn't work that night. It's just dudes just be showing up just to look at them and not even buy nothing. And y'all already broke as hell anyway. I don't know why y'all coming in here in the first place.
Facts.
Now y'all just showing up to see somebody, like, and they didn't even pay their bill. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm just saying they ran out the door. They didn't pay their bill? Beyonce thought her assistant was going to do it. Her assistant thought that Beyonce had already done it. So when they were running out, they just thought it was already paid for. But the assistant came back the next day. I was like, I'm so sorry. We just ran out on that $500 bill.
Did they leave a big ass tip?
I don't recall. I think the person got taken care of, but I don't recall, honestly. But you know who doesn't tip? Usher's family. His mama never tipped. His mama never tipped. Never. You're like, crap, that's Usher's mama's over there. She ain't going to tip us all.
Ooh, Usher.
I wouldn't even know who she is if I saw her, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, she'll let you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. That's how you know. If you're not sure.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember him. He had that song.
Oh, my God.
You know. How does that even come up? She goes, yeah, I got a reservation for 3. I'm Usher's mom. Is that what it happens? Or like,
that's literally like what she would do. Like, oh, I'm Usher's mom. Like, okay. Are you going to give me money? No. Then I don't care.
Like, bitch, you can't sing a dance. Why do I care?
Did it work?
Next time your son comes in here, I'm going to tell him your mama don't tip.
Next time your son come in, he better do a performance or something. Get the pop locking or something. Shit, you ain't tipping.
Yeah,
Tony
better get something.
There.
Yeah,
all Billy over Crystal. The place.
I always tell my Chadwick Boseman story. It'd be me and Chadwick Boseman became best friends. Rest in peace.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't really count because like every black person knows every black person. If you didn't know that, it don't really count. You've been best friends with
his grandmother,
Denzel, Wesley Snipes. We're all best friends. What are you talking about?
His grandmother's mother is my mother's cousin's best friend from high school.
Babysitter. Babysitter.
They grew up on the same block.
Exactly.
Okay, we're at 25.
All right, let's take one number. Yeah. Let's start at 25 then.
All right, shake it out. Like, what's that girl say?
Start this show.
Which one are we doing first, so I can get my?
I was going to do Violent Night first. I like to, do the in the theater movie, the one we watched on Netflix in the retro review. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here for the ride. So.
I don't think anything you say makes sense, but
that's what my therapist says. It's like, I don't know how to help you.
All right, 4 seconds.
I don't go to a therapist. I'm black.
True.
And a dude.
True.
And a dude.
True.
All right. In 10, 9.
Oh, Jesus.
7, 6, 5.
We do not claim him, y'all.
3. Yes, you do. 2. We're friends. 1. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Head Cannon Circus podcast. Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, Jason Baker, also known as the Duke of All Nerds, or the Lord of All Nerds, or the Duke of Lord of All Nerds, whatever. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We have a wonderful show for you today. We're going to go over new movie in theaters, Violent Night, starring David Harbour. We're going to do Wendell and Wild, as well as a retro review of Alien, not Aliens, Alien. All right. So it's going to be a fantastic show. For those of you who are joining us, if you could do me a favor, and please like, share, subscribe, comment, either here on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. Because if you do that, there is a creature that lives in the internet. And every time you click on something, it feeds this thing called the algorithm. And when the algorithm gets fed, it shits money. I am broke. I need the money.
It's Christmas time, y'all.
It's Christmas time. So if y'all can do that for me, that'd be great. Of course, I've got my lovely co-host with me today. He is the Keenan Ivory to my Sean Wayne's Jason. How you doing, Jason?
At least it looked like gave you at least Damon. Like, you know.
No, I'm Sean. I know who I am.
Good. I mean, Sean used to be the DJ too, so
yeah, they did not let him on the show other than spin records. Let's just be clear about that. He is older than Marlon. They let Marlon on the show.
Yeah, Marlon's
funny.
Yeah, Marlon is hilarious.
And good looking.
Oh, well, yeah. Hey, guys, how's it going? I'm excited to be here. 49ers are playing, so you see my eyes darting up back and forth. I'm not having a seizure. Nothing's wrong. I'm just, trying to keep perspective. There you go.
And of course, she keeps us from being canceled because we say a lot of problematic shit on the show. Lisa, how you doing, Lisa?
Hey guys, I'm doing good. Thanks for rescheduling. Sorry, it's eating into Thursday night football.
Yeah.
Oh, today's not Wednesday? Oh man, I'm losing it.
Oh no, you ruined the illusion, Lisa. We always show on Wednesday.
Sorry, y'all. Life happens. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it does happen. And as I said, as of right now, this is not our full-time jobs yet, and we would like it to be. So like, share, subscribe, so that way we can do this more regularly on regular times. Because we'll be like, oh crap, we have to go to work at 8:30 on Wednesdays, guys, because it pays all of our bills, and I can get
money.
Yeah,
and we can hire an editor, and then we can give you more content. Because I don't got to edit all this, and then actually will look better when you watch it on YouTube. So,
yeah, a producer,
help us help you. Help us help you.
Script writer, fluffer.
I don't need a fluffer. I'm good.
Hey, don't knock until you try it.
Me and Lisa are both married. We're fine. Yeah, we can work that out.
Yes.
I can just wait till the monthly statement comes. It's like, Jason, you spent $20,000 on a fluffer. Do we really?
Like, calm down, Deshaun.
We did not
Watson.
approve that.
Look, Steve over there is great at his job, man. I'm telling you.
Okay. So loud.
An elite team of mercenaries breaks into a family compound on Christmas Eve, taking everyone hostage inside. However, they aren't prepared for a surprise combatant. Santa Claus is on the grounds, and he's about to show you why this Nick is no saint. That is what I found on Google about the new movie Violent Night. So if you don't know, now you know. We always do our one sentence review. So let's go ahead and do our one sentence review. Let's kick it off. Lisa.
Okay, my one sentence review for Violent Night is: you better watch out. Santa's coming to town with Thor's hammer.
Jason, go ahead and hit us.
My one sentence review is: I came here looking for kills, and they tried to give me the feels. I felt really bad for John Leguizamo.
Ew.
I always feel bad for John Leguizamo, just in general.
Murder his best friend.
You should
feel bad for him.
And for me is Jolly old Saint Nick got hands.
Facts.
All right, let's kick off this discussion. Jason, you want to start about the story of this here movie?
Hey, this is going to be a shocker because this movie technically would be right up my alley. I really didn't like this movie that much.
Oh,
and it's very odd for me that, like, because this is a movie that's like made
I am
for
horrified.
And I did not care for this movie that much. Like, I felt like they tried to make it something it was not, and they should have kept it to what it was. It's just Santa Claus throwing them hands on jokers. But then we had this stuff like all the family was bad people, and then the little girl trying to give a sentimentality with her and hers. And I was like, dude, I just want to see Santa Claus throw hands. I don't care about any of this. Hell, the only person in the story that I felt bad for was like John Leguizamo, because that Joker got framed for shit when he was a kid. And I was like, oh man, is this a moment about racism in America? Or is it just because people are stupid? I don't know. I don't care. I just want to see the hands being thrown. And the kill was great when they finally got him up out of there. It was a beautiful kill. And I was like, yes. And there was a lot of beautiful kills in here. But I guess I just thought it was going to be straight up Santa Claus Die Hard. And I got like Die Hard mixed with a little bit of Nobody, mixed with a little bit of John Wick, which all things I think I would like. But I guess all together, I didn't like. And I just wasn't here for it, man. I mean, if the action scenes are good, but then they were so spread out. So that kind of bothered me that it didn't kind of make it continuous. And then they kind of, you know what? And I'm going to tell you the point where I was like, F this movie. When he finally did get the real hammer, it was the end of the movie. He didn't do nothing with it. And I was like, what a fucking waste. Why even put that in a movie for us?
It's for the sequel.
Oh, F that, man. And y'all probably going to say some great things about it. And maybe it'll make me rethink my take on it, because I was like, it's cool, man. I didn't, all right.
Lisa, I'm going to jump in here real quick, because I wholeheartedly disagree with Jason.
Okay.
For one thing, okay, so here's the thing. Maybe I don't disagree with Jason, because this movie is definitely not for everybody. For me, this movie seemed like one of those, like, if you're watching a movie and they give you a trailer for something that's over the top fake, and you're like, that's a funny like trailer for that funny fake movie. This is that movie that would have been made. And for the whole entire time, like, it's tongue in cheek, but it's definitely playing it straight. But it's the fact that they're playing it so straight makes it so funny to me and so hilarious that Santa Claus is doing these stupid one-liners, like, and he's trying to do his ho ho ho, and all sorts of crazy stuff is happening. And like David Harbour is like not winking into the camera going, haha, this is me as Santa Claus and this is supposed to be fun. He's like giving it his all. And like the fight scenes in this are freaking awesome. Like, they're just so much fun. I do have to say the little girl got annoying. She's a child actor. Rudy. Yeah, Trudy. Trudy was like, y'all need, just because she's biracial and cute don't mean y'all need to put her in the movie, guys. I love little biracial girls as much as the next person, but y'all need to stop putting these little biracial girls who can't act in movies, all right? Y'all need to put them in some school before they come in and trying to carry a whole movie by themselves. But other than that, I enjoyed the fact that most of this family were a bunch of terrible human beings. You know, the son was like, yo, I'm trying to get out of this life, you know, so I stole the money. I don't even care. And the mom was like, thank you for trying, son. At least you were picking up what I was putting down. Like, you got to be ruthless. I get you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like all the stuff about it has bad tonal shifts. Like, anything with him and the girl is bad tonal shifts, because it's like, oh, we're trying to be serious and real, and everything about this movie is goofy, spectacular. Like, that's what bothered me. It was like, and it's like huge gaps in the movie when they do this.
I feel like the sentimentality is a part of the sacchariness of this, that makes it even more goofy that they're taking this so seriously. And that's what I enjoyed about the movie. So Lisa, why don't you go ahead and give us your opinion on this here film?
I loved every second of it. No, so I was gonna say so it was like down to the wire. I didn't think I was gonna get to see it. And then there was a last showing, and at the last minute, one of my friends came in clutch for me. Shout out to Mi Jung, and was like, I'll go watch it with you. So I saw it at 9:00 and I didn't fall asleep. And like I wasn't even tired. Like, and that is if you guys know me at all, that is amazing. Like it is. I fell asleep during Alien. We can talk about that later. But so
this is where Jason fires you, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah,
writing
like,
up the
I
right now,
loved
writing
it.
up
I
the
didn't
dismissal.
I didn't take it seriously. I thought it was so over the top. I thought it knew it was over the top. I loved when Santa finally got to Trudy in the attic and she was like, I did it like I attacked the bad guys like the movie, like Home Alone. And she was like, it was so funny. She literally helped murder
Murdered
2 people. She's like,
Go,
it was
straight
so
up, straight up.
funny. And she was just like laughing. And
Dude,
I was laughing so hard.
when the
was
dude starts
I-
walking up the ladder and he slips and he gets the nail through the jaw.
Yeah.
It's-
Yes. I loved it. The kill, and I love I thought it had great kills, like you said. Just the first kill, how he falls on the icicle,
yeah.
and Santa's just like, like it just, I just thought it was great.
That first,
From the moment, Santa threw up on the lady on the roof, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
that
Better
first
than
fight
Avatar.
scene where he's fighting the dude in the den or whatever, and it's like just one unbroken like fight scene, and like they're getting David Harbour's face in this, even though they probably just digitally masked it onto. But it's like, and a lot, and they worsen it in the later on in the film. They do a lot of cuts and edits in the fight scenes, but like in this one time, they were like, we're going for broke, and I thought that was like spectacular. And then when he ends up on the freaking icicle, because he had looked out the window to jump out the window, and you knew that was going to come back.
Yeah. And then just like yelling at the reindeer because he stepped in their poop, and just like it felt like, I loved it. Fuck John Leguizamo. His character, there is no redeeming anything from him. I don't feel bad for him at all. Like,
here's the
at
thing:
all.
in a lot of states, Georgia including is one of them. If you are, if someone dies while you're committing a felony, you get charged with murder, whether you killed them or not.
Oh yeah.
So that's on John Leguizamo. He should not have broken in. But it also goes back to think, like, especially in like the Santa Claus in this movie where there's actually a real Santa Claus. Like, are parents just stupid? Or
no,
is there
he explained. No, he explains it. It's only for kids who actually really believe. So it's not like he's not doing it to every kid on the planet, and it's for kids who still really believe in kids who really need him. So it's like a handful. But
then there's still
kids.
The parents who are like, where do these parents come from?
Yeah, I mean, we've done that before. We're like, did we buy that gift? Or I mean, we've done that before. I
only buy my kid one gift anyway because fuck these kids.
Yeah, hell yeah, they got enough shit anyway. Fuck them.
But I was like, where'd you get that from? Like, where did this Xbox come from?
Yeah, I mean, if it was an Xbox that showed up, sure. But they were talking about, I can't even remember now.
Well, he had nothing but like video games.
Yeah.
Though, like, he was like, does nobody want a sword? And I'm like, if I were a child in this movie, bring me a freaking sword. You can get one of those.
Or Rick and Morty style. Give me a lightsaber. You know what I'm saying? Bring me a lightsaber.
but I also thought that the guy from Twilight, the Dodo, Cam, I can never remember what his last name is. The boyfriend, the sister's boyfriend, who was like the model or whatever.
Morgan Steele, Cam Gaginet. Gagadet? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's got letters in it.
Giganti or something like that, or something.
He was in Twilight?
Yeah, he played I'm pretty sure he played a vampire.
Oh,
I know.
He
played a vampire in Twilight. I know. He was hilarious. And like whenever he was just like, my gift to you for Christmas is like literally a proposal for her to give him money.
Right.
It's just
like don't get me wrong. Like it's all the things you're saying is correct. It's just I wish the movie would have kept that energy, and it was like gaps where it lost that energy to do things I don't think it was necessary, like the whole walkie-talkie conversations. were completely just trying to make us feel like care for these characters. Like I was perfectly fine with
Die Hard.
all of them being
Yeah.
fodder. Like even I thought about too, like because even I was in the movie when I was like, I would have wrote this scene differently. The one I was thinking about is like the ending when it's like, oh, I believe, like you've been goofy the whole time. The scene would have worked so much better if he would have been laying there dead. They think they caught Santa. They're freaking out, and this motherfucker wakes up and goes, "Oh, Christmas magic! I told you how it works." That would have stayed in its own, but it was like, no, we gotta get real for a minute and be like, we all believe in. No, get them warm, like you see what I'm saying? Like, it's these moments and pockets where they.
But he
like,
does
I
say
feel like
Christmas magic after he comes back to life.
Right, but I'm saying, but the moment before that, they played it straight, like it was
and
a
then
real.
The sister's like, you
movie.
burned $500,000.
Right. Like it's just these moments where like they play it so real, and I'm like, why is this in this movie? And that's what I think for me, it kept pulling me out of it because I'm like, okay, and hell, like, Jason knows I'm predominant if I fall asleep in the movie, and I almost dozed off when one of the fucking microphone scenes with him and the girl, and I'm like, okay, that is letting me know that this is very bogging down the movie for me. But I guess maybe, like Jason said, in my mind, I promoted. I was like, oh, this is going to be over the top, crazy, and it was. But I didn't expect the other quote unquote beats. Like, why do I care about John Leguizamo's backstory? Why? Why do we need that? Like, it makes no sense because you're not trying to make him
that when he gets killed. When he goes
what I'm saying, but was it like it didn't make him more of a villain? It didn't make him more of a redeemable. Hell, you can make an argument. It might have actually felt them more like empathetic to be like, oh, this kid was doing a bad thing, but ended up turning out way worse than the bad. Like, I don't know. It's just moments.
It sets
and
you up
pockets
for
in
the
this
heartwarming moment when Santa goes, "I just bring gifts, man. I can't fix people," and I was like.
Yeah.
Look,
and
as
again,
I said,
like
it's not for
it's-
everybody.
And like I said, it's bad because this movie seems like a Jason hit. Like this is one thing. I'm pretty sure if Jason walked in, this was thinking, "Oh, Jason's gonna love this movie," and I was just
no, because I've learned that if I like a movie really well, or if I hate it, you're gonna be the opposite. If I love this thing, Jason's gonna hate it. And if I hate it, Jason's gonna love it. So I was like, "Oh, I like this movie," so I knew Jason's gonna be like, "This shit's some garbage."
Okay, but for real,
I said it's garbage.
The ending with the son over the dead body. Who's like, he's like live tweeting it or live. Oh god, that was so funny. So funny.
It was some snaps or whatever.
Yeah. That shit was. I was laughing so hard. And everyone's a bad guy. Like there are no good people in this entire film. They're all bad guys.
The black girl
murdered people. She's murdering people
because she had to. She was in a hostage situation. I'm killing people.
They already had it handled, and then she's still just
nah. You're coming after my kid. You're threatening to kill my kid. Y'all better not miss because
it's all questionable. The sister immediately throwing the brother into like torture
she's
him. She's his favorite torture. I was
or
like,
when she's running for the safe room or whatever, she's like, "There's two of us. Take me, mom." And she's like, and her son's like, "Mom," she's like, "Take me and Bert."
Right.
Yeah. So funny.
There's a lot of good to love here. I feel like, maybe not for Jason and maybe not for even me, but there's gonna be someone who's gonna put this on every Christmas.
Yes.
And they're gonna, and there's probably not just one someone.
It's so funny.
There's gonna be a lot of someones that are gonna be like, "It's Christmas time. Watching Violent Night at my house. You want to come over?" And I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah.
I mean, this would be a great Die Hard, Home Alone, Violent Night night movie-thon. I guess it would fit great in that.
Because it literally is Die Hard with a little bit of Home Alone in it, and then they throw in the Santa Claus just for fun. I don't know.
So, what did he inherit the Claus powers, or like?
No, I think he's the one and only Santa Claus. I think
that's what I assumed. Like he used to be a Viking or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really well versed in Santa Claus lore. I always thought he was Greek. So the whole Viking thing is like, I don't know where this comes from. And also that's part of the movie where I was like, we probably didn't need all this. Like, oh yeah, he was a Viking, and all of a sudden he's got Christmas. When I think of Christmas, I think of the Vikings.
I think they did it only, this is just one of the things. I think they only did it just to show like, oh, this is why Santa Claus got hands. I think that's the
Yeah.
only reason they put it in
Yeah.
there, because I would have
just
never
so you weren't
questioned it.
questioning. Yeah.
Right, but I think
Because-
some
I
people would have
agree.
questioned how Santa could fight so well. So
If you've watched the other same movie, Fat Man, you're just like, oh, he just can do this.
Yeah.
He just
True.
fight off
It's true.
world-trained assassins. You know,
That is very
I guess
true.
all that anti-Semitism in Mel Gibson just allows him to to fight off assassins.
The more anti-Semitic he gets, the more he powers up his Fat Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I would
Oh, gosh.
imagine Santa Claus to be an anti-Semite, I guess.
I mean,
No, I refuse
Christian
to
holiday.
believe that.
Yeah, it's
I refuse to believe that.
It's
I
like,
do
well,
not
we don't go
accept
by
those
these
terms.
houses.
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Star
Absolutely
David.
not.
Mm-mm. You better leave that up to Hanukkah Harry. We ain't coming by.
Right. Even though Santa Claus is a vehement racist, but that's another discussion for another day. All right.
No. He's not racist. The Dutch are racist.
Just because other mythologies started to exclude that doesn't mean Santa's initial run did not have that.
Yeah.
The
For
Dutch
those who
didn't
don't
create
know, we're
that.
talking about
It was originally with
Black
the- it was
Rob,
originally
Santa's
all of it.
slave, who in
Yes.
certain European countries, they still dress up as, particularly in the Netherlands, they put on their little blackface. They have so much fun. And there are black people that live in the Netherlands who are just like, y'all can stop.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And it's very red lipstick,
Yeah.
darkened
Oh yeah.
skin.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, it's
God.
bad. It's real bad. And
You
they're
know,
just
I don't
like,
judge
what?
people's
It's our
costumes.
culture. And like, all right, man.
No.
But Europe sucks. Let's just go ahead.
Well, what do you think we learned from?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad,
guess-
we learned it from watching you.
I learned it from
Right.
watching you. All right, let's
Once
go
you
on.
do coke, we'll do meth now.
I learned it from you, Dad.
Watching you. Oh, the 80s were a good time. Okay, so
They still are. So for those who don't know, now you know. We do a little rating system here for at Head Canon Circus. If we think something is good, we give it a head. If we think something is mid, we give it a canon. And if we think something is garbage, we give it a circus. All right. Let's talk about just the overall general story of this. Lisa, what would you give this?
Overall general story. It gets canon.
All right. Jason?
I agree with that. Canon.
I will also third that canon. This is it's not Shakespeare, guys. Let's just
Yeah.
call it what it is. It's not gonna blow your mind.
It's not going to win any awards, but that's
yeah.
okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's go with the action scenes here. Jason, you start with us today.
Action, I'll definitely give it a head. The action's on point.
All right, Lisa.
I agree. Action gets ahead as soon as he touched his little nose and went right up the fireplace. With John I was like, yes, I've been waiting for this moment.
I will also third that and give this a head. Overall Christmas magic. How would you rate this movie? Lisa.
Overall Christmas magic. I mean, yeah, it's got to get ahead. It's the only way anything makes sense.
Jason.
I'm right there with you. It's ahead. I mean, literally, 'tis the season.
I love pulling categories out my ass, but I'm also going to give it a head because I know what I'm going to say after I say it. I'm like, yeah, it's a head. I definitely enjoy this movie. All right, and now let's finally go over to our numerical rating. We give it 1 if we think it's very, very garbage. You should skip it, or 5, 2, 5. We don't give it a 1 or a 5 because that would just be a really shitty rating. But a 5 would be, it's a great sudden classic. It's a hit. Lisa, what would you rate this movie from 1?
It gets a 4. I think I'll watch it all the time.
All right, Mr. Jason.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5. Again, the kills are great. I just think it has some tone issues, but I mean that's just probably
He's a-
more me thing.
He's entitled to his opinion, Lisa.
He's entitled to his opinion. I just felt it in my soul a little
As I
bit.
said, it may be wrong, but at least he can have it. I want to give it a 4 as well. Actually, I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I really, really enjoyed this movie, and I also think this would probably be. It's actually, I think it's better than Fat Man, which is another movie that's like this, and I think this might actually become one of those Christmas classics that people watch, unless people that don't actually go to church or what have you. So people who celebrate Christmas but aren't Christian and go to do what the things they go to that book club every once a week that they do.
Bible study?
Yeah.
I had no clue. I was just gonna shake my head and roll with it.
Just rolling with it. Yeah,
I was like, yeah.
Let it engulf you. Let it engulf you.
Speaking of book clubs, for those of you who are joining us, we also have a book club here, much like Christianity.
See what you did there.
Yeah. It's not really this month. We haven't really decided on a day that we're going to review this, but the book for this segment of book club for this period of time, wherever we decide what it is going to be the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Go ahead and pick that up now. It's a little bit of a thicker one. Lisa's got it on her phone. So go ahead and pick it up so you can join us for the book club. We're going to give you a little bit more time because I picked it. It's high fantasy. It's going to be a little bit of a read. So go ahead and get it. All right. Back to the yucks.
Back to the yucks. Yes, thank you.
All right. 2 scheming demon brothers, Wendell and Wild, enlist the aid of a 13-year-old cat, Elliot, to summon them to the land of the living. That is the synopsis for a movie called Wendell and Wild. It's on Netflix. And for those of you joining us for the first time, if you don't know, now you know, we do our one-sentence review. Lisa, let's get your one-sentence review.
Okay, Wendell and Wild, one-sentence review. It's a world where I want to touch everything.
That's a little weird, Lisa. Jason, go ahead and give us your one-sentence review.
Maybe Tim Burton should get more credit for Nightmare Before Christmas because this might have been trash.
And for me, I want to say Wendell and Wild is wasting my time.
And it was on Jason nerves, evidently.
So Tim Burton, just so we know that Tim Burton didn't.
He's a racist, we know. Mm-hmm. We're aware.
Let's take the wheel. Tim Burton didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nor Coraline.
Yeah, I was saying that he should get more credit because Nightmare Before Christmas was really good, and this one done by the same guy.
Yeah.
Henry
This ain't it. This ain't it.
This ain't it. And it, for me, everything is, as for Jason in Violent Night, everything here is specifically designed for Jason with an E to enjoy. And I'm sitting here going, this shit is boring as fuck. I had to watch this in 2 settings because the first time I'm just I'm just going to go to bed because I don't feel like watching the rest of this tonight. And it was 8:30. All right.
It puts you to bed.
Did you like Coraline or no?
I love Coraline. I like most.
I'm just curious, honestly.
I like most of the stuff that.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get to finish this movie, and not because it's just because yesterday was insane. So I just ran out of time. So I got to choose between finishing Alien or finishing Wendell and Wild. So I picked. You
picked a better movie, even though you don't like it.
And honestly, I picked it because you guys had said it was doo-doo. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just do Alien then. But the parts I did see were visually stunning.
Yes.
My kids finished it, or I think they had 20 minutes left, and they did tell me that it petered off. They really enjoyed probably the first 30 minutes of it. And then they said it just got boring and they were just doing the same thing over and over and they just couldn't. But I could have just maybe watched on mute and just to look at everything because it was just so pretty.
There are a few things that no, this hey, Henry Selick knows how to do stop motion animation. That's not in question here. Everything looks cool. I'm not a big fan of the character designs, but that's just, if you like that sort of thing, you do. If you don't, you don't. That's not a big thing. I just feel like a lot of the characters here are just flat and like not engaging. Like Kat is the rebellious teenager. I much rather have watched Raul the whole entire time than her. I feel like Keegan Michael Key and Jordan Peele kind of just phoned this one in. Like they're not very
100%.
they're not very like engaging. And these two are like, Keegan Michael Key, not on the same level as Jordan Peele, but like he's a funny dude. Like
Yeah.
he's in my opinion funnier than Jordan Peele a lot of times. And it's just like you don't get any of that here. You don't get any of their like classic wit. And it's kind of like one of those movies where, tonally it just doesn't make sense. Cause like they're going for that hard edge, like 80s style, like, is it PG or is it PG-13? But it doesn't really land anywhere where you're just like, okay, it's actually PG-13 because the characters are a little bit too cartoonish to be a hard PG-13, but the subject matter is a little bit too, ghoulish to be PG. Does that make sense? And it's just like, where is it? Who is this for? What is this? This is not for kids, and it's not sophisticated enough to be for adults. Like, who is this for? So, like, a lot of times it's like, I just was unengaged with it. Like, that's what honestly what I can say about this movie.
I also wonder too, like, because Coraline had that creepy factor that
Especially with the mom with the button eyes.
But even before the button eyes, like with the cat and with the boy, I can't think, YB, I think is his name, or
yeah,
like they were all like, it was creepy, from it was creepy, and it was also another visually stunning movie. And this one, from like, the half of it that I saw, it never had the creep factor ever.
No,
to
not
me,
in one
ever.
Not...
And I remember being when I was watching it, I was just like, is it kind of supposed to be scary? Kind of like that. Remember did you guys ever see Paranorman?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Also,
yeah, like very good, creepy kids, kind of maybe, but still good enough for adults to watch movie. So, yeah, I hate to think that they spent so much time to make it look so beautiful, but did it another one that just sucks because they just blew their load on the visuals instead of the script.
Well, they're going to have to blow it on the visuals because, stop motion animation takes longer than just regular animation. You literally have to sit there and move.
Yeah.
Hand by hand, piece by piece. It takes forever. But, like, I mean, like, they have everybody here to make this good. Angela Bassett's in this, man.
Yeah.
Ramsey.
No, so many big hitters. So many big hitters.
Like, and this falls so like that, like, the whole story is about these two dudes who want to build a theme park and they steal their dad's hair cream to resurrect the dead. That sounds like that should be fun. It's not. It's just not enough here for me to like. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, man, it's whack. It's terrible, and I get it. You know what? Look, Lisa, I get you because me and you are here when it comes to the anime stuff.
Yeah,
it has a very anime-esque beginning of the storyline, especially when like she gets like the mouth on the hand. And I'm like, oh, this is gonna be dope. Yeah. Man, that Joker used that thing like twice in the whole movie, and it was trash when she used. Look, man, I don't got no one. It's bad, man. I ain't even gonna do this. I ain't even gonna do this in this review because there's black folks involved. So I'm gonna try to be nice about it. But I'm good, man. I'm not gonna reclaim my time. Y'all can have it. I'm good.
I'm not gonna reclaim my
time. Yeah, I guess it's just a disappointment. That's the sad part. Like, this could have been a new classic, and it isn't. And the weirdest thing is it's hidden on Netflix. So I guess Netflix knew like this was going to be garbage because it's not on the main page. It's not in the top 10 or anything. It's just like you got to search for it to get to it. And
no, it recommended it to me. But that's because I'm a very well-rounded human and I watch a lot of stuff. So it said, like it was in my recommendation.
Only thing Netflix recommends to me is like old World War II films and like documentaries about murder. I don't know why.
Can't imagine why. Yeah, no, it popped up. That's why I saw it. And then I was gonna watch it, and then I was like, oh, I should see if the guys want to do it for the podcast. So that's why I didn't. But now I kind of wish I would have watched it first and I wouldn't have.
No, I mean, I'm
suggested
glad
it.
you suggested it so we can say it's trash and save
Yeah.
somebody else time because
Yeah.
it's trash.
This ain't
Also,
no
then
Nope. This ain't no Get
yeah,
Out.
yeah, yeah.
It's not
No,
with
no, no,
Us.
no.
Okay,
It's not
but
even.
watch it
It's not
on
even
mute.
Baby Kids.
Watch it on mute, and so they get the streams, so we can support
Yeah.
Black
Just
people.
go ahead and put it on.
Let's support Black creators. Okay, let's do it.
Well, technically, it's directed by Henry Selick, who's a white dude. I don't know if Key and Peele wrote this. I gotta look that up.
I think Peele had a writing credit.
I thought
But
I thought he produced it too. No,
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
look this
probably
up
did.
real quick because we have the internet and then we have the world's.
No, I like to guess. I'm a guess. He wrote it.
He wrote it, directed it, starred in it.
So
He
the
did
writers
stuff,
are
though.
Henry Selick, Jordan Peele wrote it, and a guy named Clay McLeod Chapman based on his book. And the producers are, let me go to the producer, all cast and crew. Producer. Jordan Peele is a producer on this as well.
So. Yeah.
But he's not the executive producer. He is just a producer. And Keegan Michael Key is not a producer on this. So it is written by Henry Selick and Jordan Peele. And he probably just was like, hey, I'll take 2 days, write this movie, and here you go. Turn it in.
Here's the thing, too, and this is one of those things, because I know I say this with a lot of reviews, but sometimes it's just true. I'm more interested in the nun in the wheelchair dude story than anything that happened in this movie and the bear. I'm like, they should have started there because I don't know what the fuck was going on in this movie. But every time they would mention stuff with their past, I'm like, ooh, tell me more. How did you get that power that you're like doing that crazy stuff? Like, that should have been a story.
Like, there's so many other interesting stories in this to tell that they didn't tell. And this, I hate when they do that.
I wonder if the book, since it was based on a book, I wonder if the book dives into that more. Or
it probably does. You know, they
not mentioned at all. The thing is that's how you can tell if you've missed the mark on anything that you create. That if you want people to be focused on, your main character, but they're focused on like the shoes that like a girl was wearing when they walked past, then obviously you missed the mark. And I think that's just the case in this movie. They didn't, like you said, who is it for? They don't know who they're supposed to be targeting. They don't know. Like.
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. The guy who wrote the book is white, so you take that as it is.
And they were black. Were they black characters in the book?
I have no idea if they're black characters in the book. I just know the guy who wrote the book is white.
Yeah. So
take that with whatever you want to take that as. It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. There's no judgment here. Just pointing it out.
I'm gonna take it as a good thing because I don't want Jordan Peele having this on his writing credit. So.
All right, let's just go ahead and do the rating thing. If you don't know, now you know. We do our little headcanon circus rating thing. It's a thing that we do. Head if it's good, can if it's mid, circa if it sucks. Let's just do this for the whole thing. How do y'all feel about this, Jason?
Oh, so we're just giving it. Okay, I'm going to give. I'm gonna give this some straight circus butt cheeks and rating number 1, not as the best, but as the worst.
Lisa,
I'm gonna give it canon just because it's so beautiful, and you can tell that somebody took the time to make it look beautiful, even if they knew that the script was poop. So it gets canon. And you want me to rate it too?
Why not? Let's just do we make the rules here, Lisa. We can do whatever we want.
It's probably a 2.5. I might finish it. I'll probably finish it just because I want to know what the crap happens. But
the climax is very disappointing.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a circus too, but I'm going to give it a 2.9 just because of the animation and just. But like that is only on the animation itself. Like everything else, if this was a live action movie, it'd be a 1. It'd probably be a 0, probably a -1. I probably would go to Henry Selick's house and be like, "You want to fight? Give me my money back."
Could have speak to you with my fist.
You got 2 choices. You can either fight me or give me my money back. You'd be like, I'm obviously going to fight you. I'm not going to give you back $6.95. I'm going to beat your ass.
True.
So let's
Probably
move
has
on
really
to,
probably has really strong arms, so having to keep
yeah,
those claymation
he's got a
things,
really good grip strength.
right?
How long does it take to make that movie, though?
A while,
Like 5 years, a while, or
give or take.
oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah.
Can you imagine working that hard on something for it just to be trash? That'd be
Yes,
so
I can.
sad.
I went to art school. I went to animation school. I know
That's
exactly how
so
that
sad.
feels.
I feel so bad for them.
There's a reason why I dropped out.
I feel so bad for them. Okay, sorry.
So, for those who are with us, we are doing these retro reviews because, well, this movie isn't a James Cameron movie, but it leads into a James Cameron movie, and we're doing this retro review because Avatar 2 is coming out soon. I know Jason is really excited about it. I actually am a little bit optimistic about Avatar 2 coming out. I think Avatar sucks, and I know Lisa probably has the same opinion for me. Before we get to our next review of Alien,
Also, Lisa's never seen Alien, so that's another reason.
Yeah.
why we
Yes,
wanted
I
to
had
review
never
it.
seen
so we had to
Alien,
because we can't just jump into Aliens without her saying
Yeah.
Alien first.
Mm.
But before we jump into the to our review of Alien, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Avatar for just a second, because when I first originally saw the movie, I was underwhelmed. But it was a time when I was still in school, so I was like, "Oh, I might as well read the screenplay for this movie because it's obviously it made $1 billion. Like, let me see if I can glean something from this." And then I read the screenplay, and there's this one part that stuck with me for how long has it been? 10 years?
150 years.
150 years. And it is in the screenplay when they first introduce Zoe Zaldan's character, Natiri or whatever her name is. I can't remember her name is because this movie's not memorable. But I will read you a snippet of this screenplay, and you guys just stop me when you feel like it gets gross.
Okay.
All right, so the trees here are 100 meters high, blocking out the sky. A few pencil beams of sunlight filter down through the cyan gloom. POV from above. Looking down through the leaves, we watch Jake move warily through the forest. ECU, two golden eyes, bright in the shadows. Down angle. As Jake passes under a tree limb, invisible to him, draped on a limb like a leopard, is a striking Na'vi girl. She watches, only her eyes moving. She is lithe as a cat, with a long neck, muscular shoulders, and nubile breasts. And she is devastating.
Nubile breast? Shut the fuck up. I can't.
This is in the screenplay.
God, what does that even
I'm turned on. I'm turned on.
Oh my god, no.
Tell me
A
more.
grown-ass man wrote this.
Tell me
Clearly written
more.
by a man.
Tell me
Get
more.
the fuck out of here.
He knows how to get the money shots. Tell me more.
Get out of here. Keep going. Sorry, Jason.
No. That's where I'm gonna end it there because it's just that little snippet. But like the funny thing about Avatar is like James Cameron, when he wrote this and like they were designing the V, he was like, they have to have breasts. Like they have to have boobies. Like y'all can make them any other creature, but they're gonna have some tits. And that's my Avatar rant.
Yeah.
I don't see what's wrong here.
Here's my thing about Avatar. Okay, it's over 3 hours long. It felt like it was 10 hours long. And when it came out, I lived in the middle of nowhere, America, and we could only see it in 3D because remember, it only got released at first in 3D.
Yeah.
So, and that's when the 3D was still like, it's not like it is now, like the real 3D. It's like the 3D that's like
where they're
almost like
focusing on the two different things in the same plane, and
yes.
it makes your head hurt.
So literally, like 2 hours in, had a freaking headache. So I had to watch like 30 minutes of the movie without glasses on because I couldn't look through those fucking glasses anymore. I was so no, absolutely.
I feel
not.
like that's your movie theater's fault, not the movie's
No.
fault. Because I saw it in IMAX in
James
3D,
Cameron's
and it was
fault.
the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life in the theater.
No.
So I
There's
feel like that
two
was
things.
the crappy theater you were in.
I honestly think Avatar 2 is going to be good. And I honestly think the reason I didn't like Avatar 1 so much is because I saw it at home first. And then I went.
Okay, well then that's why. Yeah.
But
and you're
either way,
disqualified.
It's a shitty story. But let's move on.
disqualify.
Are we
Okay,
doing that
one,
next
and so
week?
here,
Do I have
this
to
is
watch
my
this
beef.
on Tuesday?
This is my beef with everybody in Avatar.
I'm
One,
gonna watch it tomorrow.
because it made a bunch of money, people, because this is what we do. Things that make a lot of money, it becomes no longer cool. So everybody shits on it
I don't think that's
because
true.
it made so much money. Oh, no, it's 100%
That's not
true.
true.
Because
I
if the movie
can
would have
make
made
up my own
300
opinion about things. People don't
if that
tell
movie
me
would
how
have
to
made $300 million, I would have been like, that's fine, because it's a crappy story. But since it made like $1 billion, y'all like, oh, this movie's not that good to make $1 billion.
You know who else made $1 billion?
No,
Hold
no.
on, let me finish.
Time out.
Let me finish.
I
Let
love
me finish.
Titanic. And that
Hold on,
made $1
let me
billion.
finish.
Okay,
Let me
sorry,
finish.
sorry.
Because you
Okay.
want to keep it real. In-game story is shitty. And in-game made a lot of money, but because we have so much invested, we don't care. And that's the second part. The third part of this is that most summer blockbusters, which this was, have terrible plot lines and forgettable characters that we just enjoy the movie for the spectacle. The point is that if this movie would have made tons of less money, we would not feel this way about Avatar. But because it made so
we
much
would never
money,
think about it again.
again, that's my point. That's my point I'm getting to is that
But now
we
we
judge
have
it because it made a lot of
fucking
money.
sequel coming out,
Well,
and
we
everybody's
have
like,
$1
it's the
billion
best thing
sequels.
since
Is the difference.
since sliced
I
bread.
never
We
said
got an
Avatar's
Avatar
the best thing
ride.
since everything. I just say I think it's a fun movie, but because it made so much money, we shit on it because if it was just a generic actioneer that didn't make enough money, we would not care. But because it made so much money, now it's the worst summer blockbuster of all time. And how did it make this money? And the story sucks. And it's just Fern Gully and Last of the Mohicans. And it's like, oh, because other movies don't rip off other things too? Guys, we got to stop it.
Fern Gully.
You know what this is?
You know who gets this better? Last Samurai.
Yeah, we got to stop it. We got to stop it, guys. You know what this is? This is called the stereotypical of like, hey, you know what? I used to love that rapper when he was underground, but now he big. He don't make the same kind of music no more.
Kanye doesn't make the same kind of music no more.
Kanye. We don't talk about him here.
Look, I'll admit, my favorite album of Kanye is my Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's when he was already rich. But anyway, I digress. It's because it made all the money. This is why we hate Avatar.
No.
Because if it just made $100 million, we would not care.
To a certain extent, because I expect something that make all that much money to be better. You're right.
Yes, thank you.
No, I saw before it paid $1 billion, and I walked out of the theater being like, I can't believe I paid for a sitter to watch this fucking movie. Because everybody loved it. So I was excited to see it. Like, I was excited to see it. And then, but I was very excited to see Green Lantern too. And I paid a babysitter to see that trash.
No, Green Lantern is one of the best.
Like, what the hell? I double paid for this movie. So
also, speaking of the DCU, Henry Cavill got fired again. Everybody.
Oh yeah. James Gunn was like, "Your services are no longer needed. Here's your cape and uniform. See you later. we'll sue you if you ever wear it in public."
That's so weird. I don't understand that move at all.
They're just rebooting, man. They're getting rid of all that shit, man.
I feel like James Gunn is just coming in here and they're like, "Yo, just do what you want." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that shitty shit that they did, and let's just start over from the beginning." And I'm gonna write
another start over, and we're probably gonna get another fucking Batman,
of course,
another origin story. Because God forbid they can never give us Terry McGinnis. It's always gotta be Bruce Wayne.
Oh, this is gonna make you even more.
Oh yeah, I know you about to say it too. Yep.
This is gonna make you even more upset, Lisa. They canceled a Batman Beyond movie.
Yeah.
What?
Michael Keaton. They had greenlit a Batman Beyond movie, and they canceled it.
Yep, I did know that. Yeah. I forgot that I knew that. Yeah. Bullshit.
So
I don't understand. Millennials are the biggest consumers right now. We're the biggest consumers right now. Why give us? I'm just saying, as of right now, from a marketing point of view, millennials are your biggest consumers. They're the ones who are spending the most money.
Before I crap on him yet, I will say this. Well, one, Lisa, do you like James Gunn? Like his movies
I mean, I know he has had some very problematic tweets in the past, and but like, I don't hate him. I don't love him.
Have you seen? Have you seen Peacemaker?
Yeah. Oh. Did he do Peacemaker?
Yeah, he did Peacemaker.
Yeah, I enjoyed that show.
Yeah,
the last Suicide Squad, he did that. The Guardians 1 and 2, he did that. My point is, I was going to go to is that if he's going to have a vision for this. I'm just going to trust the process for right now because I feel like everything he's pretty much made has been pretty good quality. And the other part of it, I would say, is that if he made it so that we gave a shit about a talking tree or a raccoon and a fucking D-list DC character with John Cena,
Mhm.
I can only imagine what kind of goofy characters he's going to push to the forefront. And when eventually we get the Trinity, because I don't think he's going to start with the Trinity
Not
anytime
even
soon.
D-list.
Yeah. He's probably F-list. Right.
Z. He's not even on
Right.
the alphabet. We're going to freaking Greek letters over here.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to start off with like more B and C tier characters and build up. So that's why, from the everything that's been said, is that the Blue Beetle movie is still on, which I think is going to probably be like maybe the quasi beginning of his. I know it's already been kind of made, but I think the reason why he's keeping it is I think he's going to try to formulate it. So that's something like I say, because I think, imagine Booster Gold in the hands of James Gunn would be amazing.
That's where I knew you were going to, Jason.
Yeah.
Booster Gold.
Yes.
I agree.
Even the Flash.
I
Think about
agree.
Flash. Get Wally West Flash in there, and it'd
I
be
know.
great too.
I
right?
know. Why are we not getting one with Flash? I agree, and I just my heart hurts for what's his name? Holy
Henry
shit,
Cavill?
Superman. Henry Cavill. Thank you.
He's going to be fine.
I know he's gonna be fine, but I hate that he like left The Witcher specifically to do other projects, and then it, come to find out, was to come back to Superman just to be fired. But
I
know he's gonna be fine.
because the people who are writing The Witcher didn't give a shit about The Witcher, and he's like a super nerd, and he's
a super nerd, yes, and that's why I feel like he's one of us. So
I think he's going to be fine because he's like, I get to spend more time with my Warhammer figures and my super built-up rig PC. I'm catching you on World of Warcraft. I got you. I'm going to get another movie anyway. I'm fucking Henry Cavill. I don't give a shit. I'm good.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. I don't know. I mean, I'm a trust DC, but I'm with you, Lisa. As a guy who is a more DC guy than Marvel growing up in comics wise, I just want good DC movies with these iconic characters. And it's not fucking hard. It's not hard.
But they have it. They have the content already.
See, I don't trust DC as far as I can throw them. I'm putting all my eggs into James Gunn's basket. I think if there was anybody else, this is going to get fucked up.
But they know what they're doing with their, their animated side, because their animated movies are fire. Like,
but even their animated movies in the last few years have been kind of lackluster. Except
since they got done with, like, what was it, because I guess they're now in the New 52 era. Technically,
well, they're out of the New 52 era because they closed that one now, and now they're just in a one-shot era of just doing one-shots and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because the 52 era,
some of them one-shots, but some of them are connected. I have to see, because I was reading something, and maybe I'm wrong. I think maybe you're right. They closed the New 52 because when they ended with, whatever the last one was, with
Apocalypse or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't bad, but it was.
I cried, but I cry at anything now. I cry watching fucking, Bluey. Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you watching Bluey? The kid's 13.
Did you?
He's got a little sister and a little brother.
Okay. All right. I didn't know. My bad.
Did you guys watch The Long Halloween?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you guys review it?
We did review it, and I had a huge
part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
A huge long
rant about it.
Rant about it, because it's one of my favorite Batman stories, and it's probably the weaker one of the Batman animated movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lisa just wants to review it because Jensen Ackles is Batman in. So
always.
Like,
I want to review it anytime I can talk about Jensen. We can do Under the Red Hood, because Jensen Ackles is.
I would love to do Under the Red Hood. Under the Red Hood is probably one of my favorite, if not
my favorite.
All right. Guess what, guys? What we're doing next week is Under the Red Hood. Here we go. Before Christmas. All right. We can do whatever we want. It's our show. We don't have bosses, guys.
All right. I guess we get to this blasphemy that Lisa's going to give
Lisa's
us.
about to break all of our hearts here.
All right. I'm ready. I've been prepared.
The crew of a commercial spacecraft encounters a deadly life form after investigating an unknown transmission. If you don't know, that is the synopsis of Alien, a 45-year-old movie. If you don't know, now you know. We do a one-sentence review of everything we review. So let's just start with Lisa, and let's hear her one-sentence review on Alien, who is their first time watching it, everybody.
First time watching it. So my one-sentence review for Alien is, who knew space truck drivers could be so stupid?
I mean, they're space truck drivers. And Time out. I got family that are truck drivers, very smart guys.
Yeah.
Right? But space truck drivers are idiots. Jason, your one for this review.
Race relations in the future must have got a lot better because if I'm black dude, I'm frying that alien and white homie.
And for me, I'll go, yeah, Aliens is better, but not by much.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right,
That
let's
might
get
be
into it.
Blasphemy.
I was watching this with my son, and I feel like he had kind of the same emotional reaction to as Lisa did, that these guys are pretty stupid, but I gonna push back a little bit on that, all right? Because a lot of the stuff that happens is because someone made it happen, all right? Ripley was like, don't let that motherfucker in here. And Ash is like, I got you. Boop. Ripley's like,
Okay, but also Dallas
Dallas is a moron. You're
is
right.
a moron. He's the one who made it. Like, yes, Ash made sure that it kept happening, but Dallas should have never been touching shit. Like, you know the aliens exist. You know that you're like on other planets 6 months.
They don't know that aliens exist.
Dallas is just like, let me just touch these things. Boop, boop, beep, 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 boop, boop, boop. Like, no.
That was Kane that touched it. And yes,
oh, it's a Kane. Whatever. They're all
Kane
dumb.
touched it.
They're all dodos.
R.I.P. John Hurt.
But I do you know what this movie reminded me of is I feel like what's his name, the creator of The Simpsons,
Matt Groening
watched
Groening.
You know who we're talking about.
Yes.
I feel like he watched Alien One Night High and was just like, I know, I'll make a new show and I'll call it Futurama. After he's watching Alien, it is Futurama.
But
it is Futurama.
It is.
They're
Futurama.
on the Planet Express. They're truck drivers.
Yes.
they're just delivering shit. They're, they have an android that's Bender, who is a dodo. Literally, will get them killed for no reason. They got the badass who's kind of weird, Leela, who is also Ripley. They got the old guy. I don't know. They got it all. It is.
I'm sure you can link it up one to one.
I could just keep going. I can keep going. But
let's be honest, Fry would have gotten his face into the egg and be like, "What is this? It's a space egg," and stuck his face in it, and then it got face hugged. Leela would have been like, "Don't let that guy in."
Right.
Hermes is like, "But we have a schedule to keep. Let him in." And then Bender like, "Oh, let's just see what happens and let him in."
Yeah. And Hermes always wants to get paid, right? So he's definitely the guy's like, "Am I getting paid for this or what? Like, is this in my bonus?" So
I want my full shares.
And they're in space, and they remember to bring cigarettes. Like,
it's the 70s.
I get my smokes.
Everybody's smoking.
Yeah, I'm so glad that cat didn't die. I would have just lost one.
Oh no. Me and Brody were watching this, and Brody's like, leave the cat behind. That cat needs to die. Like, leave the cat behind. Get to the spaceship, nuke it from orbit, game over.
No, me and my kids were like, oh God, we're like, tell us right now, James, does the cat die? Tell us right now. We need to know. Is the cat alien? Because I don't think we can handle this.
Cat dies in the third one.
Ew.
Facts.
They just to go out the way to kill the cat in the third one.
Look, I love Alien, and I think Aliens is light years better than Alien, but that's just my personal opinion. But they're two different genres too.
Yeah.
So let's state that first. Alien is more horror, sci-fi, where Aliens is more sci-fi with a little bit of horror in it.
It's an action movie.
Yeah. The part about the cat, I think, is what articulates this movie beautifully, because for me growing up, Ripley was my first final girl. So I knew before I knew Nancy with Nightmare on Elm Street, and then Ripley was my first final girl. And I think her going to get the cat symbolizes like the almost altruistic goodness of that character to like the nth degree. Because even the part where I talk about, black dude should have roasted the alien, whatever. Like, remember, Ripley goes down to try to save them, even though she knows there's probably no chance they're alive. Yeah. She still goes down there to try to at least to see if she can help. And, going to get the cat and all that stuff. Like, so this movie's crafted so smartly, because if you even think about it, you only see the alien for maybe 5 to 10 minutes total in this whole movie. And I know for some people, they're like, Yeah. It's not even that long. Yeah, most people would say, "Oh, that makes it terrible," but for me, it makes it great because you're able to give so much intrigue and suspense with very little much of the monster being shown. Now, the problem I realized too in watching this again, because I've watched it more recently, because I was trying to get my girls to watch it, and when I try to get my girls to watch it, I realized the biggest problem in Alien is that the times have changed, and our sentimentality and our attention level for these kind of movies have waned. This is a slow burn for like the
It's a
first
slow paced
hour,
movie.
and it's really
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
get you to buy
almost like
into the
hour
characters.
20. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's trying
Yeah.
really hard to get you to buy into these characters, buy into the system, buy into the fact of who they are, what their missions are, and how they interact with each other and the protocols of the society. Ridley Scott lays that out beautifully, but he probably could have cut like 20 to 30 minutes off to make it work
Yeah.
for him. But when I first watched it, I didn't know that because those were the kind of movies that were being made at the time, where you did have a lot more slow burns and more things to build up to the climax. So watching it now and with kids, I was like, I see how the beginning doesn't hold up as well. But once it started going, my kids were into it and I was into it. And I really want to show them that because, like, again, like I think Ripley is the archetype that's going to, probably for the rest of history, a movie for the final powerful, strong girl. And Lisa, the best thing is, if you really like Alien and you think she was the tough badass in Alien, wait till you see her in Aliens. Oh my God.
Get
It's
away
like,
from her, you bitch.
yeah, it's almost like Ash and Evil Dead versus Ash and Evil Dead 2. Ash and Evil Dead 2 goes to a whole other level of badassery. Same thing with Ripley and Aliens. But yeah, I love this movie, man. And I could watch this movie all the time, all day. Even just the melting of Ash in his face, so great. Just such great, practical effects. So yeah.
I think
again, I dig it.
For me, one of the cool things I liked about this movie, and this goes to Lisa's point, is like they're not scientists. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not the best of the bunch. They are literally blue collar workers who are stuck in an extraordinary situation, and they make mistakes. And it's not like in most horror movies where they just do something asininely stupid, right? A lot of stuff is dumb, but it's a dumb from their point of view was kind of like a mistake, but not the wrong move. For example, as I said, really didn't want to let freaking Kane back in. She said it's not protocol. We can't let him back in.
24 hours.
Yeah, 24 hours. Kane lets him, or Ash lets him in because he's gotten different orders. All right. So when the thing bursts out of his stomach, they're looking for something tiny, right? They're looking for a tiny little creature that, may have injured somebody, but probably they don't think to them, these big, strong truckers would be much of a threat. They're going after it with a net and a cattle prod, right? Not knowing that it has, metamorphosed into this giant killing machine. And so when what's his face? Parker, no, not Parker. Parker's the black guy. Brett, that's Henry Stanton, goes off by himself for the cat. He doesn't know there's a fucking giant ass alien coming up from him. So of course he's gonna get eaten. He's just think he's looking a little freak. And now they're fucked, all right. The dumb thing was like, well, Ripley was going to go into the air shaft to try to, chase it in there. But Dallas like, no, I'm the captain. I'm going to go in there. And he gets turned around because Ash is purposely fucking with them. The thing doesn't work. And he gets ambushed by the alien. And like every move that they make, even though they're trying to fight this thing, they're just grossly outmatched. And the fact that Ash is actively working against them. And that's what I really like about the movie is because in a lot of other horror movies, they're like, oh, it's a giant space alien. Well, let's all split up, go one by one. You search in that dark corner over there. You search over here. I'm going to go fuck this chick in the back over here. And not even worry about it. And that's how it normally goes. But in this movie, it's just like Ripley tries her best to do the right thing. And it just doesn't work out for her until the very, very end. And it gets her whole entire crew killed. And that's what I really liked. And the fact that, I guess they had to make her go save the cat because, our emotions and human emotions are like, your friend is injured, let him in and so you can help him. But my black guys are like, let that dude stay out there.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm sorry, he's going to die out there on that planet. We should have stopped in the first place.
Here's what we realized. So for those of you who don't know, I didn't watch rated R movies growing up. So the rated R movies, I missed a big genre. I missed a big chunk of these classic rated R movies, right? And so my husband, whenever we first got together, made it his mission to just show me all these great things that I had missed. And the problem is he showed me Predator because he likes Predator more than Alien.
Predator is much more bombastic of a movie.
So I have seen all of the Predator movies and the Alien versus Predator and, you know, like all of that. So, and Predator is action packed the whole time. And they're fighting against intelligent people, you know, like people who studied war, like soldiers. It's not like Predators hunting, you know, a truck driver down the road. Like it, you know, like it's a soldier who's trained, you know, most of their life. Like
a whole bunch of
soldier.
badasses who can kill
Yes.
people. Getting killed by the Predator.
Problem is I'm expecting to sit down and watch a 70s action movie like that. And it was more of like an art film. Like it was very artsy. Alien is very artsy.
Yeah, it is.
And
I mean, a lot of the set design and stuff was done by H.R. Geiger. And if you ever seen any of his work, it's gross. It's weird and gross. And
also the crazy thing about this movie is like, for a monster movie, like the alien isn't really the bad guy. The alien is just doing what it's supposed to do. Like it's literally bred to be a killer. It's like watching Cocaine Bear that we're going to watch later on this next year. Like it's a dominant species that's going to kill to survive. Ash is the bad guy in this movie.
Yeah,
Ash is the real monster.
Company is the bad guy.
Yes. It's Waylon. Yes, but like the alien itself isn't the bad guy. It just happens to be.
I guess, really, because if Mother's the one.
No, Alien's kind of that guy. Alien's kind of that guy because he likes doing this shit. Let's be honest. He's like, holy shit, I'm in a room full of meat. Yes.
Yeah, but that's no different than any predator. Like you're in a room with a lion. The lion gonna be like, hey.
The lion's gonna kill the first guy and then be good for a while.
Maybe. Some of them lions do kill for sport. We watched the movie Beast.
Not an accurate depiction of lions or of people.
Everything in movies is real, Jason. But yeah, Ash is the real bad guy. Like this species, you gotta look at it from if this species is on this planet, annihilated some shit, gets put onto this ship, and is like, oh. What do I do? Genetically, I'm bred to just kill. And even furthermore, because, you know, Lisa can attest to this, because you watch Alien versus Predator, they literally state that in that movie, like the xenomorphs are literally just killing species. That's what they do. They don't know anything but that. So, yeah, he ain't the bad guy. He just
ain't going to college.
Yeah.
Writing poetry. They ain't even building spaceships. They just wait for other people to come pick them up so they can take it somewhere else so they can go fuck shit up.
Right. Also, and just because I'm a geek and I like the Alien franchise, I mean, I stop at 2, but you know, it's a story in the comics. It's a story in the comics where, like, while Ripley's on the escape pod before 2 starts, she has another encounter with the xenomorphs on another planet, and the experience because evidently Ash downloads his mind into the escape craft and pilots the ship while she sleeps to another spot where he knows aliens are at, so the xenomorphs had to get it. But the experience is so bad and traumatizing for Ripley, she asks like one of the people that survived to wipe her mind, and so that's why in Alien 2 she doesn't remember that stopgap adventure. But it's in the comics. Anybody want to check it out? It's actually a really cool adventure, and she shows how out of time why Alien 2 comes in point, while Ripley's even more of a badass because she actually gets trained in that comic. But she forgets, so it's motor skills. So anyway,
during the time that she's flying back to the frontier space, her daughter goes looking for her.
Yep.
And there's a video game about it, and it's pretty good.
Absolutely.
She has a daughter. You don't really find out to the next movie that she has a daughter. But
it wasn't bad. I didn't hate it. Let me just say that. I will never watch it again.
I didn't hate it, but I never nowhere near enjoyed it. So
it was some bullshit. Let's just the one thing that really makes me angry though is not Alien 3, not even Alien 4, not Aliens versus Predator. Alien versus Predator 2 kind of makes me angry. Yes, but Prometheus makes me pretty angry, but Covenant really pisses me off because it kind of fucks up everything about Alien and aliens. And if you haven't seen Covenant, they basically in Covenant say, "Oh yeah, humans created the aliens," or at least a human-made robot carried the alien like
Yes.
100 years ago. But then you go to freaking Alien on the first one, they've been there for at least a few hundred years, if not thousands of years, because the space jockey is fossilized.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, and the thing is, it's like Ridley Scott made Prometheus, he made Alien, he made Prometheus, and he made Covenant, and was like, I don't really care about lore or if this is going to make sense with what the previous movies. I just like Michael Fassbender, and I just want him to do Michael Fassbender shit. Because
maybe he needed another house in the Hamptons, and so that's
probably
that's true. But okay, I read, because when you put that in, Jason, I had to research whatever. So I did research some things on that theory. So the first big theory on this is that the Covenant is a POV, that he doesn't really create the xenomorphs and all that. They've already been created, but from his POV he does, because they had never encountered anything to the xenomorph type of species to what it grows to be.
That's
that because because they back this up. What I'm saying, they back this up intelligently, because every time a xenomorph gets a host, it mutates or metamorphoses into traits of the host.
Oh, to the host.
So this xenomorph could have always been around, but just had different hosts that never displayed what we see as a typical quote unquote alien xenomorph.
That's why the xenomorph I was like, in Aliens 3 is different from the other in Aliens and Aliens 2.
And I was like, that's a good way to look at it. They say, okay, this thing's been around, so it still keeps consistent, because the space jockey wasn't a human.
Yeah.
So that xenomorph would have come out looking a lot different than what we saw on Alien and in Covenant. So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, I feel like if you got to have a Reddit post about explaining your fucking timeline, you fucked up. All right. If you got to go back and say, well, actually, the engineers was Jesus, and he did come back and they killed him, you fucked up. All right, it's just bad storytelling. I'm just saying. I don't know. Or if you have a spaceship full of scientists, and the one scientist who is a bot or a bio scientist, animal doctor or whatever, I don't fucking know, and he goes and pokes a fucking alien animal in the face with his finger, he deserves to die, and he shouldn't have got his fucking PhD in the first place.
And I hope he burns in hell.
Okay.
You've never seen Prometheus, have you, Lisa? We gotta watch that.
Gotten out of your system.
Oh god,
if it has predators in it, I've seen it.
No, it doesn't have any predators in it.
No.
I mean, Guy Pearce is in it. He's kind of a predator, so.
There you go. All right, you got it on your system, Jason. Can we go to the ratings and then we can end off?
So we can just end this episode. Yes, let's go to our ratings, please. Go ahead. If you don't know, now you know. We have the Head Canon Circus rating system. Head if it's good, Canon if it's bad, is mid, Circus if it's bad. Let's just, since this is a classic, let's just go ahead and overall story for Alien. Lisa.
Overall story. I guess. I mean, I like Futurama, so it's canon.
Jason.
I'm gonna give it a head overall story.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and ignore Lisa to say head as well. She is entitled to her opinion, and it's not wrong. Unlike Jason's opinion, it's not wrong.
Yes,
it's just different from every single other living human being in the history of all time.
I think I really do think if I would have watched it first, I would have a completely different opinion. But
I saw this in a re-release in 2003 in IMAX, and chef's kiss. It was great. Let's give around scariness. How scary is this movie? Head, canon, or circus? Jason.
I've seen it so many times, so I have to not be jaded. But for my kids watching it, especially the part at the end when the head seeps out through the pipes, they really freaked out about that. So I'm going to give it a canon just because it did make them jump in that moment.
Lisa?
Circus. Did it jump? Did it? No, like, oh, I didn't see that. Like, we were just like, oh yeah, he obviously still there. There's 20 minutes of this damn movie left. Obviously, there's an alien on the ship.
Damn, that's when you know she was bored. She was like pausing to check the time. Like, how much shit,
it's still 20 minutes left.
20 minutes? That's like
I
me
thought they
watching
killed
the
everybody.
Batman. I watched the Batman. I was like, "It's an hour left of this." Jesus.
I'm going to give it a head because this is probably one of the first films that give me nightmares when I was a wee little child.
Ooh.
And I remember
Wee
those
little
nightmares, and I'm still scared of them to this day. Though I'd probably fuck up a xenomorph. I'd probably bare fist handed.
Okay. All right. Let's go. Let's go.
Man.
Come on.
All right, let's just go to our overall rating system. 1, it's terrible. 5, it's good. Jason, what will you give this?
I'm gonna give Alien a 4. Strong 4.
All right, strong 4. Lisa,
What did I give Wendell Wild?
I don't fucking remember.
I just got to
That
make
was
sure I
like-
give this
that was
higher.
20
than
minutes
that.
ago. I don't know.
This is probably a 3. I would say. Just, I mean, it had some good parts. You know, it's a 3.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 because I know next week I'm going to give Aliens a 5 out of 5. And that just had to be consistent with my one sentence review that says it's the Aliens is better.
Logan said 3.5, 3.5 for Logan.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might,
He watched it with me.
He's a child. He does his opinion. No, Logan, your opinion does count.
He's
Your
a teenager who gave it a higher rating than I did.
That's true. That's a very good point.
You young boys don't know nothing about no movies nowadays. Y'all just go watch your TikToks and your Justin Bieber's and your
Justin Bieber's. Yeah, all
I
right.
don't know nothing about no good movies.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so if Alien, so this is what I noticed about the trailer. This is what I feel like. So Alien is about space truck drivers. Aliens is about space cowboys. Correct?
That's
Yeah, you can go
fair.
with that.
That's pretty fair.
Okay. So I was gonna start it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll wait.
I feel like Aliens is probably one of James Cameron's best movies, because because of just how instantly quotable it is, and it's probably not really all that. I mean, I've seen it recently; it's not all that good, but there's just so much just fun shit that happens in it, and it's like, no, I'll take that back. Terminator 2 is his best movie. No, I take that back. True Lies is his best movie.
True Lies is his best movie. His best sequel is Terminator 2.
Yeah, his best sequel is Terminator 2, but Aliens is pretty high up there. That's why I feel like Avatar 2 is going to be good, because as Jason says, Jim Cameron makes good sequels.
Yes, that's what I hear.
Yes,
like the sequel king or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's why Avatar 2 is going to be amazing.
It's going to be $1 billion worth, and I'm not going to talk shit about it unless it's shitty.
I haven't seen it. I ain't watched the review yet, but I can tell you what Avatar 2 is going to be. It's going to be the same as Avatar 1, just with way more action scenes. I guarantee you. Like, it made $1 billion. Why change the recipe? Like, KFC and Popeyes and we making new chicken. Fuck that.
There's a white guy's in jail with it, so I'm already going to knock it down like 0.50 point.
Isn't Avatar the one that he waited like forever to make because
it took
he
him
wanted
10
the
years
technology to be where?
Yes, for both 1 and for 2.
Yeah, it took him 10 years to make Avatar because he had pitched it originally in like 99, and he realized that the technology wasn't there yet. And then Two Towers came out in 2008 or 9 or whatever, or 2005.
Somewhere around there,
yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, I can probably start making this movie." And then it took him another like 5 or 6 years just to get it all the technology together to get it done. And it was still lackluster. He should have worked on the script. I'm sorry, Jason.
He's watching football. It's fine.
Yeah, he should have took 10 years to work on the script. That's what he should have done. Yuck.
I did have random questions to ask. One, more impactful scene, alien bursting through the chest, or the thing when the stomach opens?
Alien bursting through the chest. And here's why. Because no one in that, when they were shooting that scene, knew what was going to happen except for John Hurt. And so their reaction is like legitimate. They thought he was dying. And you can feel that.
Okay. I'm probably going to go with the thing, but that's probably just because I think the thing is probably in my top 5 all-time horror movies. So.
That thing, he eats his hand.
Yeah. That's just yeah.
Lisa.
I don't know.
I
Lisa.
don't think I've seen The Thing.
Oh, damn.
What?
I don't think so. I'd have
We
to.
should just have
I have to ask my assistant, but he's
the technical,
busy.
What you
the head
gonna do, a
assistant,
spin-off
technical
show?
director.
I don't think I've seen The Thing. I don't think I've seen it.
We're just gonna do a spin-off show that's just like Lisa hasn't watched, and we're just gonna have you.
No, we really
watch certain
could.
movies.
Honestly,
Dude,
we really, really could.
And I should
Like
keep
you and my wife.
son-
The wife hasn't seen shit either, so
Yeah.
Well, we were latchkey kids, so that's probably
Yes.
why we saw a lot of shit. And your parents actually cared about you, Lisa.
I
It
mean,
was like-
my mom watches this show, so I'm gonna stop talking.
No, I was actually abused.
I was very loved. I was very, very loved. Yes. However, I spent a lot of time with my aunt, and she was very, very religious. So I watched Indiana Jones and The Princess Bride and Star Wars a lot.
Hey.
That was like it. That's like all I could watch. So
Those ain't bad. Those if you got
no, they're not bad. No.
three
Yeah,
movies.
no. So I love me some Indiana Jones there, and I love me some Star Wars, and
Obviously
and
not
Princess-
enough because you haven't seen the best Star Wars show ever.
Okay, just relax. This
I
is
haven't
why I
either, so
hate the
that's
Star Wars fandom. Also,
I didn't say this sucks because there's a black person in it. I just said it's good.
no, listen, Star
I'm
Wars.
not gatekeeping you.
The Star Wars, they create so much content. There's so much content, and there is just not enough time in my life. I'm trying to read books too. I'm not trying to spend my whole life watching Star Wars spin-off shows.
That
I'm
would
trying
be
to
a
read some
life
books,
well
too.
lived in my book. Because that's how I'm gonna die, watching Star Wars alone with all my cats.
But Princess Bride, I can probably quote every single
Marriage.
word in that movie. I love it. So yeah, but no, we really could just do a whole. I mean, me and Jess could just do a podcast ourselves of shit our husbands think is amazing and just make us watch.
Yeah, only about it. My
Just
wife
give
will
your-
shit on every single movie. Though.
Your
That's
pure,
what makes it
filtered,
amazing.
like opinion of like these things that we hold so dear, and just like,
Yes, let's
I
do
don't
it.
get why they like this.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest, Monty Python, don't get it.
And the Holy Grail?
Yeah,
I never got it either.
no, but people love it. They love it.
Why?
The Life
So-
of Brian is better.
I don't even know what that is. So,
It's another. You got any other questions, Jason? Was that the only one?
Yes. No, I got more questions. How do we feel about Rush Hour 4 being greenlit?
I saw a TikTok. He's like, I'm not racist, but this is gonna be awesome. I don't care, honestly. I'm glad that Chris Tucker can get a job. That's good.
is Jackie Chan in it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
All
I
right.
never saw Rush Hour 3. I did see the second one, but
You
I
don't
don't think I
need
ever
to.
saw Rush Hour 3.
They're
You don't
not
need to see
good.
Rush Hour 3. You're fine.
So,
You didn't miss
but I
anything
watched-
at all.
All you missed
I
was
watched
the-
Rush Hour 1 and 2 probably in the last like 2 years. I think it was like during 2020. It
Mhm.
does not
It's blatantly
age
racist.
well. It's bad. It's really bad. I can't believe they still show that shit on TV. Honestly, it's bad.
For real? I watched it not too long ago because Jess's stepmother has never seen any of it. Didn't even know this movie existed. And it just happened to be on TV and I was watching it and she's like cracking up and she's like, oh my God, what is this movie? I'm like, you've never seen Rush Hour? She's like, seen it. I've never even heard of this. And she said, then watch Rush Hour 1 and Rush Hour 2. You're right. It's a lot of jokes that would be questionable today, but it's still something funny about like Chris Tucker being in his bag when he was still in his bag, like especially when he walks into the pool hall. And he walks into the pool hall like, you stay out here. I'm gonna handle this. Don't worry. You back me up. And like, y'all need to clean up in here, brush your teeth. Like, there's still something like funny about frantic Chris Tucker still being real.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of that shit. Oof.
Not strung out on coke and Hollywood Boulevard.
Right.
Whoa.
Look, Chris Tucker's life got rough after a little bit after the last Rush Hour 3.
Yes, it is true. And then my next question is, one, have you seen the new Into the Spider-Verse trailer? And two, Is it too much blackness in it?
There's never enough black. There's never enough blackness. In fact, they could put more blackness. In fact, every character could be black, and it still wouldn't be black enough.
Whoa. Whoa.
They can have black writers, black producers, and it still wouldn't. Every animator could be black. The whole
I
company
haven't
is
seen
Sony.
the preview. I haven't
Give me
seen the
black.
preview. I need to watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
Check it
good.
out. It's pretty dope.
It's good.
It's really good. It's really good.
I guess
further questions? Or?
It's fine, but I think she,
Young and a
She's-
cartoon?
no, in the comic book she's older.
No. And I thought you were referencing the trailer where she's probably
I
like
don't know. That's a
16,
child.
17.
No, that's a child. Talking about when she's like 22, at least.
Okay. All right.
Do you
all
remember
right,
this
all right.
is the man who like 3 weeks ago was getting upset about the age gap in the anime we're watching?
She's not for me.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be like, hey girl, I heard you just got your ability to drink. You want to go hang out? Like, no.
Okay, because it felt a little bit like you were
What I'm
going
gonna
to
do? Take her to
that,
Chuck
but
E. Cheese? You go to ball pit, girl. I'm gonna stay here.
okay. Ew.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then my last question is more insane movie, Cocaine Bear or Megan?
Oh, Megan looks like it's fucking batshit insane.
Can you remind me what Megan is about?
It's about the life-size doll robot that is killing people
Oh.
for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cocaine
That
Bear
one-
looks fun.
Yes.
Megan looks like cocaine, like a cocaine bear wrote it.
Okay, so Cocaine Bear does not look fun. Actually, when I saw that preview on Tuesday night, I looked over to my friend and I was just like, I have no desire to see that movie. I bet I'm gonna have to fucking watch it for the podcast.
Of course.
Like that is literally what I said. but yeah, I agree. It doesn't look like Megan is like voodoo, like magic, like a bullet's not gonna stop that bitch. Like no. Mm-mm.
The scene where she stays to the Indian dude and she starts dancing.
Oh, it's so great.
Because all it is it's just a child in a rubber mask. That's all this is.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome.
And yet it's just like, what is going on here? Like,
Look, because they could have CGI'd that. And
they could have
instead they were
CGI'd
like,
it.
no,
You're right. And
put
no,
that
this
mask
is way
on and
worse.
dance, girl.
This is way worse if we just pulled a child in a rubber mask. This would be so much more horrible. And that's what they did, and they were right. Oh god, I'm gonna have nightmares after that movie.
I watched Orphan First Kill, and it literally is a grown ass woman pretending to be a little kid, and she looks like a grown ass woman.
She's like 30.
It's like, are they trying to fool us? And it's like, no, we're all in on this joke. Proceed. And I'm like, yes. Also, check out Orphan First Kill. Pretty fun movie.
So you know how you were saying that the first movie that gave you nightmares was Alien. The first movie that gave me nightmares was the
Ernest
Chucky
Scared
movie. The Chucky movie.
Child's
Child's
Play.
Play.
Yeah.
That's the
Timmy-
first movie they gave me. So any of that doll shit, no, because they're just. I got a lot of creepy shit in my house. I'm not. I'm not trying.
So
to
my cousin had a My Buddy doll.
No, why?
And my grandma's house, I had to go up there to change, out of my, because she had a pool. I had to go change out my trunks in his room, and I could not. I was terrified the whole entire time because it was just sitting in his closet, just looking right at you. And of course, the closet door wasn't closed, and I'm just like, I can't be in here alone because Chucky is going to kill me. He's sitting right there, like.
Yeah.
But also, I was a coward as a child. You could just tell me a story about a movie that you saw that might have been scary, and it would have given me nightmares. Yeah. Someone I saw Friday the 13th for the first time when I was an adult, and like someone just told me about Jason one day, and I was like, "That's going to give me nightmares for."
I'm now afraid.
Oh god.
Someone
Someone
tell me about that.
Someone described Salem's Lot to me on the back of the bus one day, and I'm like, "Yeah, unlock a new fear of vampires."
Oh, I've never seen that one either.
Yeah, Salem's Lot's a Old school classic.
Pet Cemetery. Kept my eyes closed. Was in the room. Listened to it. Nightmares.
That
Had
one
my eyes
is
closed
creepy. I rewatched it recently.
full time.
It's still very creepy. Something about those 80s horror movies. They probably have like a voodoo spell on it or something. And it's just they are creepy.
Michael Jackson's Thriller. That video.
No.
To this day.
No. Jason.
Michael Jackson scares a lot of people.
Have you guys seen a movie called Silver Bullet?
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, you told me about it. And, when you told me about it, it was on AMC like 3 nights after you had mentioned it. And I watched it.
Yeah. Another one of Stephen King's. Someone describes to me Silver Bullet as well. Unlock the Fear.
That one is also creepy. And you know why? Because it's the freaking preacher, and it's always
it's the preacher the whole entire time.
The
poor kid's in a wheelchair.
That one was scary.
Like if I'm going to be in a situation where there's a werewolf and a vampire, the last thing I want to do is be a paraplegic. I know it fits the paraplegic people, but that just would suck. That you have to wait. Like,
just kill me. I am already paraplegic. And then I have to be in this fucking town where there
are no ramps anywhere. Nothing's handicap accessible. You know, like people keep parking in my spot. You know, it's just go ahead.
Keep parking in my spot. I can see how all these could be problems. I can see that.
And then they don't get it. Like, yo, you just get up and walk. You just got to will yourself to walk. It's like, yo, my legs don't work, man. Like, there's no willing it.
Will yourself to walk. You see that vampire? Run. Get up, come on, make it work.
People are out there who are really like you're just not trying hard enough. Like, no.
Question. So if let's say your legs don't work and you get bit by a vampire, do your legs just heal and work, or you just want a vampire in a wheelchair? And if you become a werewolf, when you transform, do your back legs still not work?
So, okay. Yes.
All right, good answer.
No.
All right.
Okay, so the vampire, I think yes, you get healed.
Your legs work, yeah.
Your legs work. I think
because you're no longer using your muscles to move.
Correct.
You're undead at this point, so
right. Yeah,
you might have to do some squats.
So everything gets healed. That's why you get younger when you become a vampire. All that stuff. So because you're just okay. So whenever you become a vampire, it puts you at your peak physical state, so you can be the apex predator. So wherever you are the strongest. So if you're 60 years old and you become a vampire and you were at your absolute peak physical state at 30, then it'll fix you at 30. And if you're at your
the mythology's off because Interview with a Vampire, Kirsten Dunst still chased the chick like a little kid.
Because she never reached her peak physical.
Right. Yes. That's why they don't turn children.
Oh, it goes. Oh, it can go down. It just can't go up. Then
right. Yeah, because that doesn't. Yeah, it can't accelerate. That's just the way it works. Like this is literally just like vampire lore for real.
So if I were getting bit by a vampire, I would just die because they're like, there's no. We got nothing to go back to.
But werewolves are a little bit different. Magic.
I would imagine. If you're a werewolf, you'll be healed while you're a werewolf, but still paraplegic while you are in your human form.
That would be my guess. Yes, whatever magic that turns you into the wolf, the beast takes over.
Because your body is changing anyway as you're changing. So things.
Because it's a completely different anatomy whenever you're a wolf.
Yeah.
I think that getting back to your peak thing is lost in the lore now because. I'm running through my mind. There's a bunch of vampire movies I've watched that it don't go down like that. Wherever you are,
talking about actual vampire lore, as said by.
Well, again, as I said, I think it's lost in the lore. That's what I'm saying. I think that's been lost in the lore now.
I think it's definitely lost in movies, but definitely not in books. I read a lot of books, and that's
you know how they have the little wheels for the two-legged dogs.
Like a werewolf gets that. Yeah.
It's like who built that for him? Like, why would you do that?
but also, if you wouldn't survive as a vampire if you weren't. They would just kill you. Like there would be no point to turn you if you.
Yeah. Also, you probably would not survive a werewolf attack.
Yeah.
Either because usually in the werewolf attacks, especially in American Werewolf in London, his friend gets eaten, and then he gets only like hit, and like and the werewolf like runs, and the werewolf gets killed like immediately afterwards. So like usually the werewolf's like, you ain't got no chance to turn because I'm going to eat you anyway. That's like I'm not fighting people.
Also,
all right, we've wasted everybody's time today.
This is what we're here for, to waste everybody's time.
So I didn't realize what time it is and what time it's on the clock. All right.
Well, I guess we're reaching the end that the Elvis fans like, which is the end of the show. I don't know what I said there. But either way, thanks everybody for joining us. If you would do us a favor and like, share, subscribe, comment, interact, because as I iterate a lot and keep reiterating, it feeds the algorithm and in turn will give us money. And that's what I do things for, because we're not in a cashless, classless, stateless society yet. And so therefore I need money to survive. So do the thing so I can get the thing. And maybe we might get t-shirts for people. I don't know.
Yes, you get free merch. You give us money, we give you free stuff. See how that works?
See how that works? It's like it's a quid pro quo. Also, for this month or this quarter or this period's book club, please make sure to get the 5th season by N.K. Jessamine. It's a big one, so get it now so you can have time. We're gonna hopefully give you plenty of time to read it. We haven't picked a date yet, but get it now so you have time to read it. And then Lisa's going to email her, and she's going to not get back to us, but she's going to try, because Lisa's good at getting to people. I guess next week we're going to definitely have Avatar 2, and probably Aliens.
Yes.
And then something else, probably something animated.
Under the Red Hood.
Under the Red Hood. So those will be our next features for next week. Make sure you watch them if you haven't watched them already. So if you don't want spoilers, especially for Avatar 2, you come in here because we're going to spoil the shit, because we're giving you a fair warning now.
Also, I'll have a game of Trash and Treasure next week. Bring that old jewel up out of there. Yes.
But thank you all as always. Lisa, you have any last closing words for our guests?
Yes, shop local. It's Christmas time. Please dip into your local vendors and dealers. Support your economy, small businesses, make the world go around. Also with the holidays, especially the time change, I swear to God, it's been brutal this year. Check on your friends. Mental health is important. Just a simple text, hey, how you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. Please check on your strong friends. They're the ones who are never going to ask for help. So that's it. Be kind to each other.
And always shop with your local dealer, because he gives you the best price. Jason, do you have any closing words for our
I was going to say, my local dealer has the best weed, so that's no, all jokes aside, but again, thank you guys for watching, listening. Numbers look great, getting better, starting to get more subscribers, so thank you to everybody who's joining us and watching this for the first time, and hopefully this won't be the last time. Hopefully, you enjoy us, keep with us. I don't have any positive message like Lisa, so I'm just going to say there's 3 things in life you always got to be. You're going to live, you're going to die, you got to pay taxes. That's it.
Damn, that's depressing.
I know, right?
You can be anything you want to be, kids. Actually, that's a lie. You can't be anything you want to be.
If I take it from her mother, she would like, the 3 things she would do is, live, pay taxes. She'd be like, you're going to die, pay taxes, and stay black. She's always said, that's the only 3 things I got to do. I was like,
I ain't got to do nothing.
If you choosing death, and taxes, okay.
I'll even pay my taxes. Fuck the
right. Wesley. All right, Wesley.
Thanks y'all so very much. Be kind, be considerate, and always tip your servers and bartenders at least 20%. It's holidays, if not more, because that's how they live. And if you see Jaren, that motherfucker, rob his ass. All right, he needs to get robbed right now. Okay, look at me. It's not a crime because it's Jaren.
It's not a crime.
Please don't actually rob Jaren. He needs his money too. Have a wonderful night, and man, get away from her, you bitch. I don't know what it is.
Space Cowboys.